Well, this security forum has been described as the Davos of security issues. That's a reference to the World Economic Forum held annually in Switzerland. Now, neither conference makes policy, but they do influence policy. So how is Canada being influenced here on major issues such as Israel? Well, I spoke with the host of this conference, Canada's Defence Minister Peter MacKay. Good to have you on the show.
Thank you very much, Tom.
I want to start with Israel. This is on everybody's mind right now. But we specifically have a memorandum of understanding, a defense treaty in effect between Canada and Israel, announced not too long ago. In light of what's going on in Israel now, what does that memorandum compel us to do, if anything at all?
Well, I would say the starting point is that it is a marker that says Canada is a very strong ally of Israel. Canada believes that Israel, and I think we have to encourage everyone to accept that Israel has the right to exist. But, I mean, picture a scenario where Canada was coming under daily rocket attacks. I think many Canadians would think quite differently if that was our reality, and they would expect their government to act in defense of their people, their community. That's where Israel finds itself.
2008, you announced the Canada First Defense Strategy. We were going to spend $490 billion over a 20-year period to equip the Canadian forces with the equipment they need.
Actually, it was here in Halifax with the Prime Minister and the Chief of Defence Staff.
Is it still operational in light of the budget cuts? Are we still going to spend $490 billion over the next 20 years?
Look, it's an evergreen document. That is to say that when that document was put in place 4 years ago, and it was probably in process for 4 years to arrive at that announcement date, different economic time. We have a number of major procurements in that period that are well underway now. The shipbuilding, a national shipbuilding procurement strategy. We've purchased a number of major armaments, tanks, LAVs, up-armored vehicles that we need and that we used, in fact, in Afghanistan, helicopters. We've made major investments. We have, you would know, put on average $1 billion into the defense budget since we took office every year for 6 years. And we've made infrastructure investments. We've grown the size and the capability of the force. Having said that, Afghanistan, we're out of a combat role. We're now involved in training until 2014. And our involvement in Afghanistan will draw to a close. So different tempo of operation. Certainly the economy has softened, is fragile. That has affected every budget in the government, including that of the National Defense Department. And so what I would say is we are going to have slower growth, but growth nonetheless.
But perhaps not the $490 billion that was first envisaged with that plan.
It's the time frame. It's the time frame. I think everyone would agree that we are on the right track as far as recognizing the economic pressures.
Defence Minister Peter MacKay, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Tom.